Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Monomoy Regional School Committee's regular meeting on October 8th, 2014. I'll call the meeting to order, and I'd like to have someone, let's approve the minutes of September 24th.
So moved.
Correction to the minutes, I was not present. I was present.
It says you were present.
Yeah.
In spirit, you were,
I was
Ed.
here in spirit, but in Winnipesaukee person.
We'll make that correction. Do I hear a second?
Second. With that change.
In favor with that change? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, thank you. Public comment. Where's our public comment? Where's the comment tonight? Just to remind those, and we'll do this the next few meetings till we get used to it, that we'll try to get this microphone wired up, and unlike 2 weeks ago, we'll invite any member of the public to come and share with us their topic, to use the podium and also the mic. And we will try to keep public comments to a 5-minute duration, and at the discretion of the chair, I can extend that. So I'll remind everyone, previous meetings, the chair was a little bit remiss in allowing the conversation to kind of flow beyond what it probably could have been, just to keep our business moving smoothly. Seeing no one is here for public comment, we'll move on to recognitions. Mr. Carpenter.
In your packet is a letter from Karen McPherson, who was the assistant coordinator for the 2014 PanMass Challenge Lower Cape Kids Ride that happened on September 27th, who was just sending a note to thank the school staff and Steve Platinovich for the role that they played in making it a successful event at the Monomoy Regional Middle School. And so I was glad that we could provide the facility for such a cause. And then just in advance, there are a couple presentations, both under the superintendent's report and then under reports and discussions that Dr. Blanchard will be providing. She and a team that she's been working with did a presentation this past early release Wednesday that focused on district-determined measures, and I also tapped Carla to come and help put together sort of an MCAS report for the committee to give you a glimpse into what the data is saying, and for us. And I just want to acknowledge, sometimes you're the wrong person to be left in a room with me when I say, hey, would you like to go and help put together an MCAS report? So I really appreciate the time that Carla's put into both of those topics that she'll be sharing with us tonight.
Thank you, Scott. Our student representative, Kaylin, welcome.
Thank you.
You may come and test out our podium.
All right.
You may lower it or raise it as best you want to. Well, we'll try that again.
I'm Kaylin Schultz. I think Sam and I are going to do every other week to be the school representatives. For the past couple of weeks, things have been going really well. I think we've overcome some challenges, definitely. Today, I think, was the first day that the Wi-Fi was like really up and running in our school. So that solved so many problems. So hopefully we can just keep that going, because before, I know that was basically the main complaint of everybody, was it's really hard to be doing the things we're supposed to be doing when we can't access like documents or PowerPoints and stuff, but seems to be solved, so that's good. There was the half marathon over the weekend, and a bunch of the students at our school, I think in the junior class and the senior class, and a lot of the stand members were involved in that. We ran over some water stations, which was really cool. We just hosted the Best Buddies Olympics last Friday, which was amazing. It's always the best. It's really awesome. We had a lot of schools come down, and they were always telling us, one woman, I think she was from Falmouth, no, Mashpee? I don't know. She was from somewhere kind of far away, and she said that this is the best one that they come to, and we're like the most enthusiastic group. And the woman who runs our chapter, our Best Buddies chapter from Boston, came down and said that this was the most enthusiastic Special Olympics she had been to. So that was amazing. Homecoming week, and homecoming is underway. We figured out a lot. The themes for next week have been set. There are days for the kids to dress up. There's like Taurus Day and Color Wars. Our pep rally will be on Wednesday, and the peer leads, I think, have made a bunch of big plans for that day, so I have a feeling that's going to be a lot of fun. One really good thing that we did today was during our enrichment block, we had class meetings, which was really awesome because a lot of the times kids don't come down after school because they have to take the bus because they can't find a ride home or anything like that. So we had it during school today, and kids actually came because they didn't really have an option, and it was a really good way to like contact the entire grade. So that was really productive. I think, and we had that club convention about 2 weeks ago, which was really successful too. All of our clubs are starting to get underway. I'm in like yarn club, you know, I'm doing like some weird stuff, and it's really cool. There's a bunch of really funny opportunities that are, I mean, there was bell choir in the library the other day, so it's really awesome. There's a bunch of new things that, I mean, I'm in a forensic science class, which is really, I mean, all these opportunities, especially once all the things get ironed out, are going to be amazing for the future. There's, with the transition, I know it's been kind of rough for, I think especially the Chatham students, but for everybody, juggling 8 classes and 2 nights of homework for every teacher has been a struggle. I was in guidance today I'm still switching up my schedule. I just got a new class for Tuesday. And he was like, and one of my friends was in there like having a panic attack, and he was just like, all these students have been coming in because they're so overwhelmed with the homework that we've had. And I think what it is that these teachers are trying to get used to condensing their curriculum into 90 days when they were used to 180, right? So I think it's taking its toll on everybody, and I'm guessing it was even addressed today. There was a teachers meeting after school, and I'm guessing there was something about it because Mr. Bennett was just like, there have been kids coming in and hitting a wall because it's just been really overwhelming. So other than that, there really aren't many complaints from the students. I mean, things have been going, for this past week, things have gone pushed together, I think. Things are coming together. I mean, even look at the library. Like, we've got our computers and stuff, so. I think overall things are going well, but the transition is still taking its toll, so. Yeah.
Sharon?
Well, I have to say, Caitlin, this is the most entertaining student report I've ever heard. I don't know if it's the knitting class or the best buddies, but anyway, I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Any other questions for Kaylin?
I just want to say I so appreciate your candor. You know, anytime you guys have a problem, let us know. Feel free.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Moving on to reports and discussions, the Monomoy Regional High School Grade 8 and 9 field trip, London, England, April of 2016.
Thank you so much, members of the committee, for having me here today. My name is Rachel Barnes. I'm a teacher of grade 8 here in the Monomoy Regional High School. It's a beautiful place to be, and I'm hoping now that we have this gorgeous pace to take our kids out of it. So, it seems like an odd thing to be doing, but there you have it. I'm actually signed up already to take students this year to Washington, D.C. Did so last year, and I'm so grateful to have that opportunity again. But in looking forward to what we're planning for children in our school district, I know one of the things that we want to have them do is see opportunities that go, you know, within this building, but also beyond this building, and it's important to take them out and experience the world. In grades 8 and 9, students in the Monomoy Regional High School take World History 1 and 2, making this a perfect opportunity to get ourselves over to Europe and take a look at that span, what's happening in the space over there. I know that I'm not a history teacher any longer, so my focus tends to be on the language arts at this time. So conveniently, the Globe Theater happens to be hanging around in that neck of the woods. And thanks to the course that I took this past summer in Italy on Shakespeare, I had the good fortune to meet a number of people from the Royal Shakespeare Company who were teachers who said, give them a little call when I get over there. They would love to work out some workshops for our children, which is an extraordinary opportunity that goes beyond just the program that's been presented to you on paper. The company we're planning to travel with is EF, who Rick Gifford from the high school has already successfully traveled with several times with our students, and other trips have been planned through this organization. I know they're incredibly reputable. They're also local. They're headquartered in Boston, so we get some pretty quick service. I filled out a little application form and she was on the phone to me 20 minutes later. I was not expecting that kind of turnaround. So it's very nice that Monomoy is sort of at the top of their list of people they'd like to work with. So that's a nice opportunity too. The trip proposal is for 7 days in and around London for grades 8 and 9 students who are passing both their English and history classes and are in good academic standing as well as behavioral standing within our school system. The trip will take place over April vacation in so much as we can schedule it for that time. There may be overlap on one end or the other by a day or so for more favorable airline rates. That would be the only reason that I would want to interrupt their academic programming here. I know that their time in class is just as important as their time in the global classroom. I can answer any questions that you have about the proposal at this time.
I guess I just would like to know a little bit about the cost.
Oh, the cost for the trip is just under $3,000 for students, and it's for the full week. It includes breakfast, dinner, hotels, and all admissions to everything. The only thing students would be responsible for paying for in addition to that would be their lunches abroad. We're looking into fundraising opportunities and grant opportunities. Actually, that meeting teachers went to after school today was all about grant opportunities. I have a feeling I'll be filling out some paperwork on that soon.
This sounds fabulous. I would hate to see anyone not be able to go because of funding.
No, and I think that's, anytime we have student travel, that's one of the largest issues that we deal with. We don't want students to miss out on it because of cost. So to that end, we'll be working to the best of our ability to find people who will chair fundraising committees and make sure that we can make this as affordable as we can for as many students who are that have the desire to go.
This sounds wonderful.
I think so too.
Brian?
I make a motion that we approve the proposal for the Monomoy Regional High School grade 8 and 9 field trip to London, England in April of 2016.
Second.
Discussion. I have a follow-up question, Rachel.
Sure.
The Washington trip,
Yeah.
would this be the same target group of youngsters in grade 8 and 9?
The Washington trip that's going this year is grade 7, so they will be 8th and 9th graders for next year. My goal ultimately for this is to have it incorporate grade 8 and 9 so that it can be something we can, if it's a successful and viable trip for this upcoming year, it could be offered every other year so that students can plan in advance that this is something that regularly happens at Monomoy. It's one of our traditions. We have to start our traditions somewhere, and it seems like a nice opportunity for them, if we can get this off the ground and it's successful, to know so that they can plan in advance for that.
A follow-up. The Washington trip, is that targeted to be a class trip or a select number of kids who volunteer because they can make it?
Well, it's over the vacation once again, so it's based on interest, but it's directly connected to what they're studying in their history classes as well. They're doing ancient history, but at the time that they leave for this trip, it's sort of the launching into the whole look at the Roman Republic and democracy and the start of all of that. So the connections are going to be made directly through
And
that.
those would be 7th grade youngsters.
Those are 7th
present.
grade youngsters who are going on that trip, yes.
Democracy in Washington?
It's not that big a
Every
stretch,
other year.
Mr. Whitaker.
We have Steve.
Yeah, do you anticipate a cap on the amount of kids that could go on this trip?
That's a very good question. No, I don't. My goal is honestly to take as many students as are interested. EF has not indicated to me that they are interested in capping that or limiting any number of students. I know that there can be some issue with how do we get, let's say everybody in both grades wants to go.
Right.
Clearly, we're going to be filling a couple planes. I don't think that's going to happen, but if that's what is in the interest of our students, we're going to have to see how that works out. our goal is to get everybody who
And
can go
what's
to
your
go.
chaperone to student ratio gonna be?
6 to 1.
6
6
teachers
chaperones
service.
for every student, yes. The other way around. Would be nice, I know a lot of people are interested in attending.
We have a second. Let's put this to vote. All those in favor of approving the Monomoy trip to London in 216?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
Before you go,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Brett.
Ms. Barnes, how's the 8th grade wing going?
You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful place for kids to be. I think the team room is an extraordinary opportunity for kids to work in quiet space, to be able to come together and work in small group and come back to a classroom. I think that there are extraordinary opportunities for our children here that would not be present in a traditional 8th grade in a middle school. They have Chromebooks, teaching them digital citizenship and digital literacy is one of the bigger goals that we have for this year. We knew that was going to be the case, and we're trying to work that out through some of the seminar classes that have been designed for them. So is there a learning curve involved? Absolutely. But, you know, as it is for everybody, and I think, you know, remaining positive about it and making sure that as we schedule for next year, we're really looking at those teaming models to make sure we're supporting kids through that is what we're hoping to look toward.
Do you get any sense of how comfortable the students are by having their own portion of the high school and,
They
you know?
seem plenty comfortable to me, but I think that's part and parcel of at that age. One of the things that's wonderful about 8th grade is that they're still, they haven't stopped talking yet because they don't realize everybody's paying attention just yet. So we still get a lot of great information from them. They're still, you know, chatting about what they like, what they don't like. You know, sometimes that sort of starts to end. You know, at the end of 8th grade, they look and they're like, oh, people are listening, and they kind of get quiet for 4 or 5 years. They come back to us at senior year, you know, regular individuals again. But that's one of the beauties of having this age sort of here is they'll ask those questions a freshman might be afraid to ask because they don't want to look uncool in front of their friends. They're 8th graders. None of us are cool. They'll ask. It's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Rachel.
Well, thank you. Thank you for approving. Let me know if you want a chaperone.
Hands went up.
Our second item under reports and discussions, the fiscal year 15 financial report. Katie?
What I'm asking Barbara to hand out is a revenue report that I neglected to attach when I sent it to you with your packets. In your packets are the financial reports for the first quarter of FY15, July 1 through September 30th, 2015. 2014, FY15. We have in the general fund an unencumbered, unexpended balance of just over $2.9 million. As you know, we try to encumber as many funds as we can at the beginning of the year so that we don't have any surprises at the end. What I did in this particular report that's a little different than what you usually get is I do have the original budget is in the first column, and then the second column is an adjustment. So at the beginning of the year, we've done a lot of internal transfers between the cost centers. As you know, we can transfer in a cost center, but when we change from expense to a salary or from cost center to cost center, that's when I bring it to you. Because when the budget was set, then there was some movement of teachers from the 8th grade, so they were, coded to the middle school, then we had to code them here, so we had to move the money around. So you'll notice if you thought the report was a little more crowded, that's what it is. And there are still some pieces of that we're fine tuning, so there will be some additional movement in some of those columns as well. I don't know if so then the revenue piece that we handed out just now shows that we have received, we have 71% of the revenues remaining. We receive our regional assessments 5 times a year, staggered between the 2 communities, and we also, the Department of Ed is now, instead of paying quarterly for school choice and charter schools, they'll be paying on a monthly basis after they do some reevaluation in December. So there are your revenues and your expenditures. There aren't any surprises with, fine tuning all the pieces, and this is where we stand.
Katie, could you repeat that, that the Department of Ed would pay monthly for school choice and what?
Yes, charter school, after December, they'll send our Chapter 70 money on a monthly basis, school choice, and then after December, the charter school tuitions, so to try to even out the cash flow over a 10-month period.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions for Katie? Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
Third item under reports and discussion, the district determined measures. Dr. Blanchard, the district determined measures.
But I'm going to be hiding over here in
Okay.
the corner because
Good.
that's where the controls are. Thank you. So I'm going to explain to you the process of the piece that is called district determined measures that's part of the educator evaluation process. And the easiest way to think about a district determined measure is to think about it as an assessment. It's a test. It's